Hello everyone, BMS here, and welcome back to more Let's Play Metal Combat Falcon's Revenge. Last time we took the tornado out for a spin and completely blew away the competition. And no, I didn't waste any more than a minute coming up with that one, and even if I did, I wouldn't own up to it. Anywho, it's time to jump back into the game here. We pretty much left off at the halfway mark, so the only fights we have left are with the Eltorian generals. First up being our good friend Danpe and his ST Uranus. Once again, please take note of how Carol actually warns us not to shoot his abdomen, unlike Mike, who is as clueless as ever. Although, granted, I kinda miss some of Mike's one-liners, you know, they just seem to fit this game rather well. Regardless, just as with fake Anubis, Danpe seems to be suffering from a mild case of amnesia, as he can't quite remember where he's seen Carol before. More foreshadowing, perhaps? Surely I jest. But enough bullshit, let's have at it here. Uranus on high mode isn't as tough as you'd first think. He doesn't have any extra attacks, he simply makes better use of the ones we've already seen, which are piss easy to defend against, and just as long as you don't blow up his damn stomach, you should be fine. Just remember to fire your defensive shot at the last possible second when he launches an attack, and you shouldn't have any trouble with the defense aspect. Offensively, since this is an all-range type battle, hitting him can be difficult as he decides to zigzag all over the screen. But just remember, if you get in a pinch, toss a bomb out there and to stop him right in his tracks. Follow all that advice and Mr. Danpe falls rather easily, even on high mode. Unfortunately, even though we tried desperately to knock some sense into poor Danpe, unlike Anubis, he still seems to be suffering from his mild case of amnesia. Poor little green guy, he gets no respect. Certainly not from Carol, who seems more than eager to just leave his ass floating there in space, which brings me to my next point. After we completely destroy all the enemy STs, their pilots are obviously still alive, right? So my question is how? Of course, the more important question would be, why are both Mike and Carol so damn cold-blooded that they both seem so apt just to leave their asses out there floating in space? I mean, shit, I realize they're trying to conquer Earth and all, but come on, don't just leave them floating out there. Or am I looking into this too much? There is a high probability of that, I guess. Well, all that bullshit nonsense sidetracking aside, we've arrived at Saturn, and of course you all remember the Eltorian Luigi, right? Poor Zephyr here created all the alien STs, and they stuck his ass out here on the Epsilon ring. Perhaps it's because he's also suffering from some of that amnesia. Poor fella. Anyway, the battle with high mode Cobra is a tough one indeed. Normally you could charge 6 energy lamps before he'll activate his shield. Now he'll activate it as soon as you charge 2. Major bummer indeed. Keep in mind that you could destroy his shield with one shot if you could hit that flashing orb in the center of it, which I failed miserably at here. Now, once his shield is gone, normally the battle would be a cakewalk from here on. Not so anymore. Now I'll start to spam his arm cannon, which is also capable of firing a fully charged shot at you, even though he absorbed no energy. And yes, it's a one-hit killer. Just remember to wait until the last possible second to fire your defensive shot, and you should be fine. Strong emphasis on the word should, mind you. But after you take out his cannon, it should be all over for poor Zephyr. So, now that we've thoroughly beaten his ass, Zephyr once again decides to run home to Mama, who just happens to be the Eltorian Commander-in-Chief. But there is at least one thing we have in our favor. The battle takes place on Uranus, which pretty much means that the home field advantage lies with our gunner, the Mighty Ass Man. And no, I didn't pick that name just so I can make that lame joke. I picked it so I can make another lame joke a little later on. Thank you very much. Anyway, here we have Pamela, and Jinkies. The artist sure did a hell of a job making some ugly-ass aliens for this game. I mean, sheesh. Although she does bear a slight resemblance to one of those old 50s-era English teachers. Hell, they probably were aliens too. Ah, and of course the amnesia conversation rears its ugly head again. Oh, you silly game, you're foreshadowing. Toying with my feeble heart like that just isn't nice. But whatever, let's beat the Booger Queen so Carol and Assman can get out of Uranus. Oh, thank you. And no, that wasn't the lame joke either, by the way, it's still to come. Anyway, the Grogan seems like it would be a challenge on high mode, simply because of all the gun ports that you can see. And yes, it does fire an overwhelming amount of turbo shots at you. However, With this huge body and the massive amount of gunfire it lays down, lies the Groken's downfall. For you see, even the almighty Mode 7 can't prevent the lag caused by having massive amounts of ram-chewing sprites on screen at once. Thus it makes it easy as hell to shoot down everything it fires at you. How sad, too bad. Just keep in mind that its reflective body won't bounce back any of the super turbo shots, but will bounce back any type of a hyper shot, so beware. Also, to end the battle quickly, remember to throw a bomb out when you destroy the last little mechanical worm thing it spits out at you, as it will instantly destroy the Groken, thus allowing you to skip the third and fourth phase of this battle. Blah blah blah, you beat me, boo-hoo. Oh wait, the mothership is about to appear. You're fucked, haha. Yes, we know, redundant story is redundant. Oh no, there's an unusual magnetic field detected around Uranus. Things are starting to look grim for our hero Assman. Please, hold your applause until after the show. But of course, that begs the question as to whether or not I picked that name just so I could make that elementary joke. My answer would be, maybe. I'm sure the world will ever wonder. Anywho, moving on, we've made it inside the alien space fortress / home, and we're ready to rock. But what's this? The real Anubis actually knows who Carol is? I dare say that's amazing. Of course he doesn't feel like spilling the beans just yet, except for calling her a wretch. Harsh language, at least for a Nintendo game of this age. Regardless, unless you're a complete moron, you should have figured it out by now. But don't worry, if not, I won't spoil it for you, cause it's a real shocker. Now, the battle with Verbius' first form is very, very, very difficult. Which is why it surprises me to no end how extremely lucky I am here. Normally, he never stops to change direction, which means that you have to constantly defend without having an opportunity to charge, as I was able to do here. Twice! But even so, beating this form of Verbius is still about 1 part skill, 2 parts luck. If you're not on your game, he's gonna bend you over hard. Which is what leads me to say that I'm fairly certain that this is the hardest high mode battle in the game. I can't remember how many times I died fighting this guy as a kid before I finally beat him on high mode. Of course, I was only 6 or 7 years old waving a giant bazooka at my TV, but still, excuses, excuses. Oh, and I hope you're ready for Carol's big secret to come out of the closet, because it's about to happen! I know you all are just so excited you can barely contain yourselves, but please, try. Dun dun dun! Rola's sister, who would have thought? But of course, for all the incredibly dumb morons out there that aren't able to put 2 and 2 together, Verbius just comes right out and says it. So we've been hobnobbing around the solar system with an alien. Granted, she's missing the green skin and pointy ears, but still, an alien is an alien is an alien, I guess. Who knew such drama could come from about 4 minutes worth of text from a story in a game like this? Incredible. So now it's time to finish old Verby off once and for all. And surprisingly, his second form is much easier than his first. A good strategy for this guy is to start charging as soon as you can, and as soon as he fires his opening volley, toss a bomb out. Your goal should be a level 7 or greater hyper shot. If you can smack him in his center mouth with it, you'll be able to completely decimate the guy. And should knock over half his health out as well. After that, just make sure to defend yourself well, as he's still dangerous, but just wait for an opportunity to strike. And he should fall easily enough. Keep in mind that on high mode he fires about 3 times the amount of bullets from his mouths and eyes as he does on the normal mode. So if you're only using turbo shots to defend, you'll more than likely get overwhelmed. Much in the same way that I'm about to here. I made a very silly mistake here and it damn near cost me the match. On that note, remember that super turbo shots only destroy 1 flashing bullet, but a level 2 or higher hyper shot can destroy numerous ones, as long as they're lined up in a row. Anyway, thankfully my stupid mistake didn't cost me the fight, and we've beaten Anubis for good. I'm just a little sad that we don't get to hear one of Mike's one-liners at this point, you know? I just think that his rest in pieces line fit really well here, but I'll just have to deal with it. Well, the big kicker of Carol's story arc has already been revealed. The rest is pretty much the same as Mike's from this point on. Aside that Carol keeps interrupting poor Rolla there. So let me see if I can sum this story up. The Eltorians fucked their own homeworld up, so they went out in search of a new planet. Of course, they soon found the world of Assman and decided to pop in and say hello. The rest is history. And you know what the sad thing is? That summed up version of the story is still better than Other M. Oh, come on, you know I had to toss out an Other M joke sometime. Ah, hello there, Mr. Alien Flavor Flav! Also, if you'll notice the blonde hair on Mr. Flav there, you'll be able to tell that this is Carol's future in about 40 years. Yeah, Eltorians don't age well. Shit. If I knew that's what was going to happen to my face, I'd put my ass on ice as well. Just saying. And there you have it. The final gauntlet has been tossed down. Will Carol, Eugene, and Assman be able to answer the call? Stay tuned for the next exciting episode of... Oh, sorry. Got a bit carried away there. Anyway, this shit about the lightning bomb is just that. Shit. We never get the lightning bomb on high mode. Go figure. Typhon is the definition of a creepy asshole that you wouldn't want to meet in the dark. C'est la vie, I guess. Okay, so things have already gotten real, but this is where shit gets a little tricky. For one thing, on high mode, you have to fight this guy in the dark, which isn't as bad as you'd first think, because he has a pretty well-defined silhouette against the background. So unless you're colorblind, it shouldn't be that hard to see him. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is toss a couple of bombs out there to destroy the orbs circling around him, as we damn sure don't need those shooting at us. Now don't be an idiot like I was here, however, and use all your bombs. You need to keep at least one, and the reason behind this will become evident very shortly. But other than that, just fight him as normal and keep an eye out, and an ear out for the music cue to start charging your energy. Oh, oops. Ain't that a bitch? That right there is where things get tricky. He doesn't stay stationary when he opens up his weak spot anymore, and you have to fire the shot a split second before he actually opens up, or you won't make it in time. Keep in mind that I lost just to show you that. Of course, if you believe that, you'll also believe that I am the most interesting person in the world. But that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. Now, let's try this again, except using what I like to call the right way. Fight him normally, wait for the music to change, and start charging your energy. But make sure you have at least one bomb, as there's a way to nerf this fucker with it. Also, you should note that you only need to charge 6 energy lamps with the tornado to deal the knockout shot, which is great because, well, good luck charging all 10 lamps before he roasts your ass. And there we have it! Fucking BMS knocks it out of the park! And that right there is how you nerf Giga-Desp on high mode. Toss your bomb out when he's about to open up, and if you can hit his weak spot with it, he'll freeze in place and have a short delay in firing at you, giving you more than enough time to aim and blast aside his ass. Dare I say, revenge can be the bomb? Oh, I dare. Once again, don't listen to this crazy alien bitch. She's not hiding jack squat. Your best bet, even on high mode, is to still take this fucker out with turbo shots. However, do keep in mind that unlike the Groken, which wouldn't reflect back your super turbo shots, the Giga-Desp's second form will absorb them, so don't even try it. Surprisingly, this boss is still quite a letdown on high mode. While it throws its attacks out in a different order, they are a bit stronger and change color as they get closer to you. It's really not that big of a deal. Just make sure to fire a level 2 energy bolt whenever it opens up its blue eye-type areas, and you'll knock him down to his second phase in no time. The only seriously dangerous part of this fight comes when you reach the boss's second phase. If you don't reach the third phase quick enough, it'll release 2 of those worm-type things that'll fire 2 very powerful shots at you, which, even at full health, are enough to kill you. If you can't make it to the third phase before it does that, your best bet is to fire a bomb off towards the side of the screen. That way you won't kill Rolla, but you'll be able to destroy those bullets that the worms fire at you. Then you can take him down from there. And once you reach his final phase, this boss fight is pretty much over already, unless you just give up. Very easy to finish off, as his skull is no longer invulnerable I should say, to energy bolts. Fire a couple at him, watch him go boom, and prepare for the ending dialogue cutscene. One quick note about the endings for the tornado, and that's that there are only 2 of them. If you run out of energy, Carol does not sacrifice herself to refill it. You have to start over. So really, the ending you get comes down to whether or not you destroy Rolla. Save her, and you're greeted to the cheery ending, with dialogue and the upbeat music for the credits. Kill her, and there's no dialogue, and the somber tune plays for the credits. Simple, no? Anyway, that wraps up the tornado run. Hope you all enjoyed this alternate look at the game, as well as a look at all the enemies on the hardest difficulty. I'm pretty sure that given the level of difficulty that comes with high mode, there were quite a few people that never managed to beat it with the scope. In fact, come to think of it, I've only managed to beat it twice on the actual console. Surprisingly, once with each the Falcon and once with the tornado, but it damn sure isn't easy. The lack of items, increased enemy speed and power make it aggravating. Yeah, that's a good word. Aggravating. Regardless, aside from the extra video that I'm going to make showing off all the items you can get, as well as some nifty little glitches and speed tricks, this pretty much wraps up the main portion of this LP. It took a while, but I hope you all enjoyed, and once again, I can't harp on this enough, go pick this and Battle Clash up for yourself, along with a Super Scope, as these 2 games are completely worth it. Just be sure that if you do decide to get a Super Scope, make sure that you have an old CRT TV, as the scope won't work with an LCD or a plasma TV. Anywho, enjoy the rest of the credits, and I'll see you all for the bonus video. BMS, signing off.